You're streaming live now from Fox. In case you missed it, we are listening in as Senator Chuck Schumer gave a few remarks following the passage of the $3.5 trillion infrastructure package that is now heading to President Biden's desk. Now, the United States government pumped a lot of money into the economy through stimulus checks, PPP loans, and other government incentives. Here to talk about it all is David Peters, financial advisor and CPA with David Peters Financial Group. Thank you so much for joining us this morning here on Live Now from Fox.
Thank you so much for having me.
So when it comes to the economy, a Fox poll shows that 86% of voters are concerned about inflation. I'm wondering, is this something that investors are also concerned about?
I think that a lot of investors are concerned about it. It's obviously all over the place. I think that probably the biggest thing that investors are concerned with is just kind of the potential effect on taxes.
So specifically when it comes to a personal finance point of view, what are your thoughts?
So from a personal finance point of view, I'm worried about just the increase in prices of consumer goods, and then also the potential longer term impacts on taxes. At some point, when we spend and we spend and we spend, eventually that money has to get paid back. And so the question is how exactly are you going to do that? I would say, one of the common ways is to raise taxes. And so that would certainly be the two most immediate things that would come to mind.
Now, David, you mentioned consumer prices, and we're actually seeing a stark increase, 5.4% to be exact. What can the average American do to make the most out of their money, especially during times like this when the national debt is above average?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the big thing to remember right now is to not maybe overextend. So if we don't have to take on debt, don't do it. If we don't have to make large purchases, don't do it. If there are ways that we can save right now, that's the way to go. I think a lot of people are still struggling coming off of COVID with all of the kind of the cash crunch that came along with that, and so watching how much you're spending and also just saving where you can, I think is important. Also, I would say though too, I mean, don't lose track of kind of longer goals. I mean, if you're saving for retirement, we care less about rising prices if we're investing over a long period of time. So just also taking some time to sort of to have some context, have some perspective on your savings goals.
Now, David, you did mention retirement, and I just want to ask you this while it's at the forefront of my mind. If we do expect rates to be higher for the foreseeable future, is there anything that people in the retirement phase should be looking out for?
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the retirement phase, you may want to make some moves in the portfolio to maybe, to invest in some things that may be able to hedge against inflation. If you have a long time, though, before retirement, I'm not sure that you necessarily make a whole lot of moves in the portfolio. I mean, if I'm in my 30s or, in my 40s and I still have a lot of working years left, we don't necessarily want to sacrifice those long-term goals for kind of short-term increases in interest rates and inflation. If you're planning over the long term, keep those long-term goals. Keep saving for long-term success.
All right, David Peters with the David Peters Financial Group. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on Live Now from Fox.
Thanks so much for having me.